You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. Tonight, they take on the Monster Mile of Dover. I'm Mike Timoni up in the booth. Last week, we were at the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway, where we saw Brandon Sanfilippo get a win and lock himself into the race for the playoffs here, as they're going to reset that. Not this week, but next week after Homestead. So this race and Homestead, Miami are the only ones left. Kinsley Smith wound up second. Todd Slauson back in third. Right now, Andrew Teft does have the points lead by 13 points over Kinsley Smith. Brandon Honeycutt, Todd Slauson, and Lee Campbell round out that top five as we get ready to roll into qualifying. Jump over and take a look here, see who's out on track right now. Looks like Dennis Kane is the fastest man on the track, completed his first lap in 23:46. See if he can go any faster here tonight. Oh, gets into the wall coming out of turn 4, so that's going to probably disallow that lap. John Dunaway, lap number 1, 23:22, top of the board. He goes. Ira Kohaas, I believe, locked himself into the chase as well, as he got just had to show up tonight to get this race counted, as he does have a victory on the season. So should be pretty tightly battled there. Kirby Wainscott in the KFC number 10 Ford. Let's see if we can take a look here at the track temp. 91 degrees, so a little warm there. Like those are the only drivers that have came out so far. 6 out on track. Ira Kohaas is the top dog for the moment. Todd Slauson, Kinsley Smith sitting on the end of pit lane, trying to decide which one's going to make their way out first. And it looks like Aaron Marquise is also trying to do that as well. So, like Slauson's going to lead them onto the track in that number 22 Nationwide Chevy. Dover is just over a 1 mile concrete oval, 24-degree banking in the turns, 9-degree on the straight. So definitely pay attention to that. Is if the track starts to get a little slippery, it is going to play havoc on those tires. Worse than it does anyway, as it's a concrete surface there. 23.14 for Slauson. Kinsley Smith's first time is a 23.44, so he has got to find some more speed. It looks like Aaron Marquise checked the outside wall as he did not get a qualifying time for lap 1. Kinsley Smith goes 23.10, top of the board. No stranger for that man there. 23.54 for Marquise here. Completed his 2 hot laps. These guys had plenty of practice today. I believe it was up for almost 4 hours, if I wasn't mistaken, when I jumped in the session here. They only raced here one time before, and they had only 1 caution, so I was back in, looks like season 1 here. Ronnie Martin first lap, 23.63. If you can get that Interstate Batteries number 3 Chevy a little higher on the board here. Oh, checks that outside wall. Gets loose, and that is going to do it for his qualifying efforts. Brandon Honeycutt, 23.24 first time by. See if he can get some more speed in that 13 pals Chevy here. Second lap for Honeycutt. 23.19. Last week's winner, Brandon Sanfilippo, looking to get towards the front here. As he comes off a turn 4 down the front stretch. Lap 1 for him is going to put him P4, 23.16. Carries a lot of speed coming out of the corner there. See if another Brandon's going to be able to take home the victory here at Dover. Second time by at 23.19, so keep his first. Ford Performance 98 Ford rolling through almost to the start finish line as he comes out of turn 4. See if he can keep it off the wall, and he does just that. Time for Andrew Teft is going to be 23.47. Just in front of him is Lee Campbell. And the 14 Chevy coming to the start-finish line for his second hot lap. They keep matched up times 23:35, so see if Teft can go any faster as he completed his second lap, 23:31, so they pop once again here. We have one driver that hasn't completed a qualifying lap yet. If he's going to get out on track or not. Eight minutes down here in this qualifying session. 2 left to go. As we saw there in qualifying, turn number 4 is going to kind of be the spot where they need to be able to keep the car underneath them. As we saw him kind of slide around and get into that outside wall. A couple of the drivers here. We'll see if they can keep the car underneath them for the 160 laps that we are going to be going here. 4 sets of tires, 65% fuel. Usually equates to about 2 pit stops in this race. So look for drivers to split the race into thirds. Probably see our first pit stop somewhere just over 50. See if they decide to drag the first one out just a little bit more or work somewhere in between. But while we're waiting, let's see if we can go ahead and take a look at the race info. Like I said, track temperature is 94 degrees, just over a mile in this oval here. That is Dover International Speedway. 69 degrees, ambient air, 90% humidity. So going to be a little muggy if you were down there a bit. It looks like Kinsley Smith's going to bring home the pole. Ira Kohaas just outside. So that is where we start. We'll see where we finish tonight. Couple seconds left here, and we'll jump on over to the race session as these guys get set to wrap up the regular season. This is the penultimate race, like I was saying. Homestead next week. Then they'll reset it with the top 12 drivers and head to Michigan, Kansas, Texas, Iowa, and wrap it up at New Atlanta for 105 laps. They are getting in their cars here. Let's see if we got anybody that here. We got Kinsley Smith and Ira Kohaas on the front row. Todd Slauson and Brandon Sanfilippo in row 2. Row 3 is Brandon Honeycutt and Sean Dunaway. Truth Hoke, Dennis Kane make up row 4. Row 5, Andrew Teft and Lee Campbell. Kirby Wainscott and Aaron Marquise. Ronnie Martin and Chris Blasi are going to round out the field. RC tonight is Anthony. I don't believe Matt Metler is going to join us tonight, but we will see if he elects to jump on board. Like everybody's waiting. Looks like this is going to be Kinsley Smith's first pole of the season here. definitely something to look forward to. Kinsley Smith does have 2 wins on the season. Looking to try and bring home the victory here. They get ready to go. Lights are out on the pace car. Get set for 160 laps. So we'll start with the field of 14 drivers here tonight. Kinsley Smith going to lead them on down to the restart zone. Pace car is in. Kinsley Smith with the button as they head through turn 4. Get in that Geico restart zone. And they are straight and they are off and away. Ira Kohlhaas gets an amazing start in that outside row. Todd Slauson staying right there with Kinsley Smith on the bottom as they battle through 1 and 2 here side by side. Kinsley Smith and Ira Kohlhaas. Brandon Honeycutt gets a little loose, goes down to the inside. Brandon Sanfilippo goes from the top to the bottom, trying to get a little speed in that 12 there. Ira Kohlhaas back into second as Kinsley Smith begins to take the lead on the bottom side. Todd Slauson watching all the drama unfold from his driver's seat just behind him. Truth, Hoke, and Honeycutt are side by side. Andrew Teff just behind those drivers. Sean Dunaway, Dennis Kane, Lee Campbell all single filed out. Aaron Marquise down to the inside of Wayne Scott. You saw Ronnie Martin check that outside wall just a little bit, earning those. Usually they're Darlington stripes, but tonight they're definitely Dover stripes. Ira Kohlhaas back in front, and he is beginning to pull away just a little bit here as everybody's trying to figure out where they want to be. 4 laps in, and Kohlhaas is out to 0.3 of a second lead over Kinsley Smith. Kinsley Smith has Todd Slauson right behind him. Truth Hoke up 3 spots from the restart, or from the start of the race, running P4. Sanfilippo and Honeycutt back a couple spots. Andrew Teff staying down on the inside, going to try and take advantage of all the track position he can as quick as he can. Honeycutt, Dunaway, Kane, Campbell, Marquise, Ronnie Martin hanging on there. Chris Blasi and Kirby Wainscott is bringing up the tail end of the field. Like I said, look for pit stops somewhere around lap 50. These guys have single filed out pretty quickly, not really battling. We'll see if there's going to be any quality passing here tonight. Brandon Sanfilippo gonna have Andrew Teff closing in on him momentarily. We've got about a 0.3 of a second lead at the moment as they come down the back stretch. Like everybody minding their P's and Q's so far. Definitely think this track definitely plays to the drivers that can save a little bit of their tires. Back up front, Ira Kohaas, Kinsley Smith. Still battling just a little bit off of each other, about 0.3 of a second. Todd Slauson a couple back. I think after these tires start to get a little wear in them, we'll probably see some drivers starting to lose a little bit of control, especially on exits of turn number 2 there as they come down the backstretch. Brandon Honeycutt staying right with Andrew Teft. As you just kind of saw Dunaway get a little bit loose behind those drivers there. Take a look on nose of the number 13 Pals Chevy here. Now bounces off that outside wall just a little bit, but gets a run there on Teft. If he's going to be able to complete the pass here, as they are side by side heading down the backstretch. Honeycutt gets in front of Teft, and that is going to be for P6. Brandon Sanfilippo pulls out, goes to the bottom of Truth Hoke. Side by side they go. Sanfilippo's going to have that position when they come out of the corner here. We'll see if Truth's going to try and cross him up or stay right with him. Looks like he's going to stay kind of right behind him. So there's a couple passes that we've seen in the last couple laps. People hanging on to the, call it the draft there, get right on the rear bumper and then be able to pull down as they head into the corner and make the pass before they get to turn exit. We'll see if Dennis Kane can do that as he starts to get a run on Lee Campbell. Dennis Kane still hanging there, not being able to go too much of anywhere. Ira Kohaas still leading, has grown the lead a little bit. He is now 0.6 to the good of Kinsley Smith. Kinsley Smith about 0.6 better than Slauson, and Sanfilippo is about 0.8 back from Slauson there. Everybody logging some laps, trying to probably save some tires, make this fuel run last as long as it can. As you saw Slauson hit that outside wall just a little bit. Truth Hoke is going the wrong way in a hurry as he is out of sorts here, up into the high lane. Not really where he was running earlier. We'll see if he can get that 59 Wrangler Chevy back underneath of him and in the right direction here. You can kind of see he's got a little bit of right side damage there. Coming off the corner, and he does it once again. Just pancakes that wall on coming out of turn number 4 there. See if we can jump on board Marquise and follow Truth through turns 3 and 4. That was definitely a better exit there for Hoke. Lee Campbell starting to close in. Sean Dunaway goes to the inside of Andrew Teft and is going to make that pass. Should be able to complete it by the time they get out of the corner. We'll see if Teft tries to cross him over, if he's not going to have enough speed to do so. It doesn't look like he's going to have the momentum to get by. And just behind them, you have Aaron Marquise, Lee Campbell, all trying to get by Truth Hoke. Marquise is by, but is Campbell going to be able to fit through there as well? Almost 3 wide back here. Campbell, Marquise, and Hoke. They managed to work it out, and Hoke goes backwards a couple more positions. He's running P10 right now. Dennis Kane has a pretty clean ride there. Like Ronnie Martin decided to jump to the pits as he is going to get service early in this race. Probably pancaked the wall a little bit there as he was losing some time. But Ira Kohlhaas is beginning to pull away by leaps and bounds here. He is out to almost a 2-second lead over Kinsley Smith. Sanfilippo is closing in on Kinsley as well. Brandon Honeycutt right on the rear bumper of Sanfilippo. Honeycutt's going to, well, it looked like Honeycutt was going to try and pull down to the inside, try and get that move done on turn 3 and 4 here, but not quite enough momentum. Looks like Sean Dunaway is going to get by the 22 of Todd Slauson. Slauson's going the wrong way as well. So this is kind of where I think the drivers that have been able to save their tires a little bit, maybe not use them quite as much, are going to be able to make more moves than the drivers who were basically foot down all the way. Troy Thomas jumping in the chat, cheering for Truth. Truth's had it a little rough there, Troy. Looks like he's got a little damage there to the right side of the 59 there. Still running inside the top 10. Like Todd's having a little connection trouble there. Teft makes the pass on Slauson. And is now eyeing Sean Dunaway to get back up inside that top 5. Yeah, Truth was running really good for the first 10 laps or so, and then it looked like he just got that outside wall and has been going backwards ever since. He did show quite a bit of speed. Slauson, Campbell, Marquise. Dennis Kane able to make the pass on Truth. Blasi thought about going down to the inside of Truth, but elected to stay back behind him. He's coming out of turn 4, and out of turn 4 is where Truth has hit that wall the last couple laps. It looks like he's headed that direction again here, coming out of turn 4. Looks like he's able to turn down and keep it in the right direction. So definitely learned something after the last couple corners there. Andrew Teft able to get by. Lee Campbell able to get by Todd Slauson, but Campbell's had it a little rough there as well, as he was shaking just a little bit. Slauson going the wrong way, down 5 spots. Kinsley Smith also going the wrong way, down 5. Sanfilippo and Honeycutt are now single filed out, but they have 3 seconds to make up on Ira Kohlhaas. Kohlhaas has basically led start to finish. Nothing really anybody could do, as he just jumped in that 29 Chevy and has just pointed himself in the right directions here as we jump on board. Like Ronnie Martin called it a night. Is pretty much set sail. Andrew Teff, Lee Campbell going back and forth. Looks like Lee Campbell might have saved a little bit of tire here as he is just a little bit faster than Andrew Teft. We're 35 laps in here at the Racers Elite round number 9. The penultimate round here as these guys head to Homestead to wrap up the regular season. Closest battle on track. Just as I say that, looks like Dennis Kane's closing in on Marquise here. He will make that pass. Butts Lawson and Truth Hoke are both hoping that either a caution comes out or they can hang on and make it to the end of this fuel run. It doesn't look like neither one of them are very happy with their rides. Slauson's down 8 spots, Truth Hope down 5. Yeah, it looks like Slauson's heading down pit lane. Looks like he is going to try and get that fixed momentarily here. Ooh, Kohlhaas into that outside wall just a little bit. Still nursing that 3-second lead he has. .40 laps in, so should see these guys, if they're trying to split the race into threes, come down. I'm going to say lap 55 would be a safe bet. Brandon Sanfilippo, Brandon Honeycutt, and Kinsley Smith. John Dunaway staying back here in the top 5. Lee Campbell, Andrew Teft battling 6th and 7th. Dennis Kane P8 and has Marquise and Blasi back there in 9th and 10th. And we should see Slauson start cutting his way through the field as he has got those fresh tires, got that setup returned to what he likes, and we'll see what happens here. He's just going to make it a 4-stop race or a 3-stop race and try and just get more time on the track and make it up in a hurry. They do have 4 sets of tires in the pits, so see how much tire wear is going to be the difference in the speed here. What Slauson's last lap is here as he comes towards the start-finish line. He just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 23:48. Ira Kohlhaas's last lap was a 25:12. So if he can make up a couple seconds a lap over, say, 10 laps, it'll be close if he's going to be able to make it on that last pit, on one more pit cycle than everybody else. $23.44 that time by for Clausen. 25-14 for the leaders. So now Sean Dunaway is going to try and put Kinsley Smith in his rearview mirrors. They are side by side down the backstretch. Kinsley Smith has a bigger run on that outside, but Dunaway sticks it on the bottom. See if he can get the momentum coming off of turn number 4. Kinsley Smith bounces off the wall just a little bit. Dunaway gives him plenty of room. Dunaway's going to take that position momentarily, but Kinsley Smith is not going to go willingly. Dunaway gets in front. Kinsley Smith right on his bumper. See if he's going to pull down and try and get a little slingshot there. And it looks like he got kind of pushed out of the groove as Slauson came flying in. Truth Hoke down pit lane. Slauson already up several spots on the track, trying to get his lap back. He only has 3 drivers in front of him. We'll see what he can do to catch Brandon Honeycutt and Sanfilippo, as they're going to have to come to pit lane momentarily, as Slauson gets a little sideways there as well. Slauson by Honeycutt. And Filippo's maintaining the gap to Kohlhaas. So Kohlhaas is not driving away as of yet, but he does have Todd Slauson behind him. And Slauson is closing in here. Kinsley Smith coming down pit lane. Oh, Sanfilippo coming down. Ira Kohlhaas still out at the moment. Dunaway Campbell as well. Truth Hoke had him come back down pit lane as he got caught speeding. Ira Kohlhaas still out here rolling. See Slauson in his rear view mirror. Dunaway coming in. Campbell stays out. Teff stays out. Well, the way this race is going, basically have 2 pit strategy calls here. You have Ira Kohlhaas and Andrew Teft. Looks like Dennis Kane all on the thinking the same way here, as they're trying to get as many laps as they can on this fuel run, as Chris Blasi almost blows up the field as he almost pulled out in front of Ira Kohlhaas. See if Kohlhaas is going to try and make one more lap. This is lap 54 as he's down the backstretch. See if he pulls down to the inside, try and get down pit lane, and he will do just that as he slows down, gets on that apron, going to make that left-hand turn and get on pit lane. Give the lead over to Dennis Kane unless Kane comes down. Ira Kohlhaas had a 17-second lead over Dennis Kane. So Dennis Kane coming down. Kirby Wainscott just on the backstretch. Looks like he's going to pull down and head down pit lane as well. So these are the drivers that are going to try and make it on one more stop. And everybody else is probably going to have to make 2 more stops here in order to make it to the end of the race. Which maybe Todd Slauson was thinking he's on the right strategy here. And he came down right when he needed to, so. I mean, if you're splitting it into basically 4 sections, you're going to have to come down on lap 40 or thereabouts. So he came down a little bit early. He came down on lap 37, but he was the first one down pit lane. So, and you saw what happened as soon as he got those 4 fresh tires, as he gets almost loose coming out of turn 4, slides up, hits that rear bumper almost against the wall. He is the leader for the moment. Brandon Sanfilippo not too far behind him, about 3/4 of a second and closing. And you'll see Truth Hoke, but Truth Hoke is going to be completing lap 52 when he goes to the line to everybody else's 56. So the speeding penalty is going to put Hoke in a box for a while here. And Filippo going to try and pull down to the inside and get by Slauson. Slauson not really giving him a ton of room on that bottom side, kind of pinching him down towards the bottom. Truth Hoke has a ton of speed, almost bounces off the wall. As Slauson goes Casper on us for a little bit. Lawson back in second, Honeycutt third. Ira Kohlhaas made his pit stop, and he is back out P4. Not really a concern for Kohlhaas, as he has been the fastest car on track all night. He will just stay rolling, as he knows these guys are going to have to come down, or will be coming down probably in the next 35, 40 laps, as he tries to go to probably 110. I'll say when Ira Kohlhaas' next scheduled pit stop is. But with that being said, we're going to step aside right here, catch a commercial break. You won't miss anything as we go side by side. This is Sim Racing Media. Welcome back, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series from Dover. As we were watching there, Ira Kohlhaas able to get by Brandon Honeycutt. So Kohlhaas made his pit stop 4 laps later than Sanfilippo and is now closing in about within 0.6 of a second right now. Gap should get smaller even quicker as Kohlhaas has been lightning fast tonight. Todd Slauson trying to execute some pit strategy here as he is, looks like he's kind of slowed down just a little bit, trying to maybe save some tires here. Lee Campbell, Sean Dunaway battling back here for 6th position. Campbell has 6th, and Dunaway definitely wants to try and take that away. Look here, see how it's looking. Looks like Kinsley Smith, Andrew Teft, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Ira Kohlhaas are all locked in right now to the chase. Ruth Hoke, Kirby Wainscott, Dennis Kane are all going to be trying to do battle here. They're going to try and get in on points as it tightens up here in the Racers Lead Xfinity Series with basically 2 races left to go. Ira Kohlhaas still hasn't been able to get quite close enough to Sanfilippo to be able to make a move for the lead. He is just hanging out here in 2nd position, about 3/4 tenths back. Has a little gap back to Brandon Honeycutt. Kinsley Smith getting by Truth Hoke. Truth's still out there, putting in the work regardless of where he finishes every week. Definitely can be commended for his effort anyway. And Filippo starting to maintain that gap of a little over 4 tenths on Kohlhaas. Kinsley Smith trying to close it in on Brandon Honeycutt. Smith is 4.5 back of Honeycutt. He has quite the gap to Lee Campbell, and as we were watching there, it looked like Truth can't pancake that outside wall one more time, so he's definitely going to have more than a stripe to show for it once he gets out of here. Andrew Teft, Todd Slauson has Kirby Wainscott behind him now. Not for position. Just out on track. Dennis Kane back there in 9th. Marquise in 10th. Wainscott is 11th and Blasi is 12th. Ruth Hoke running P13 right now. Marquise better get a move on here as he is 22 seconds back, so the front of the field is closing in on him in a hurry. Halfway through this race at Dover for the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. Sanfilippo looking to go back-to-back. Ira Kohlhaas looking for win number 2 on the season. Brandon Honeycutt trying to lock himself into the chase. Kinsley Smith just wants a good finish. Already has himself locked in. He is kind of battling for the regular season points title here. Lee Campbell, Dunaway. Like they're pretty much the closest battle on track. And as I say that, Ira Kohlhaas is going to have his hands full with Brandon Honeycutt, as Honeycutt has found something in that 13 Chevy, as he is starting to make some ground on the inside. Goes by Ira. Ira is on basically a completely different strategy than everybody else is. Honeycutt goes Casper again. And we are under a caution. See what happened to Wayne Scott here. Oh. Like Chris Blasey just didn't see Kirby up there. Slid up the track. We kind of seen him do that most of the night, but that is going to definitely throw a wrench into pit strategies here, as everybody's going to come down to get their service. I was going to say everyone's going to come down, but Lawson, Dennis Kane, Marquise did not. First caution tonight, halfway through the race. Like everyone's going to come down pit lane. To get ready to get stacked back up, we'll have Sam Filippo and Ira Kohlhaas on the front row. Lee Campbell, Kinsley Smith, Sean Dunaway, Andrew Teft back to row 3. Brandon Honeycutt, P7. See which lane they elect to stack up in here. If Sam Filippo's going to stay down on the bottom side. And we've seen what Ira Kohlhaas can do on the race restart. He basically drove away from Kinsley Smith, so. Lights should go out on the pace car this time by as they get ready to rock and roll here from the Monster Mile. Lights are out as we get set to roll. They picking a lane where they want to be. Rusting brace checking in here on San Filippo as usual. Heading down the backstretch. Pace car's going to make that left-hand turn down pit lane. Waiting and watching as they get ready to roll out of turn number 4. Headed to that Geico restart zone. San Filippo with the button, and he is on the inside. And we are green flag racing here once again. San Filippo gets a pretty good jump. Ira Kohlhaas going to try and hang on to P2. Lee Campbell trying to push his way up into P2 on that bottom side. Kohlhaas gets by and is in second as they single file out through the top 6 right now. Honeycutt looking to try and get some more. Todd Slauson has those fresh Goodyears, and he is on the move as well. He's been one of the faster drivers when he has those fresh tires. So he definitely loves seeing that caution come out when it did, as it looked like it was about on his pit cycle anyway, as he has now pitted twice, last on lap 85. So Brandon Honeycutt goes up into the wall. San Filippo has pressure from Kohlhaas. Kohlhaas on the bottom, and he is going to take the lead as they come through turn 1 and 2. Kohlhaas, San Filippo, Kinsley Smith, Lee Campbell back to 4th, and Andrew Teft in 5th. They've got this single file through most of the race here. Looks like Kirby Wainscott and Chris Blasi are side by side. And they are battling for position. They just are not on the same lap as the drivers around them, as Honeycutt is having issues tonight. Ira Kohlhaas with the lead and is beginning to pull away out to over a half-second lead right now. San Filippo, Kinsley Smith are going to be battling hot and heavy here for P2 as Kinsley Smith looks to stick his nose down to the inside of San Filippo. Can't quite get there as San Filippo pulls away one more time. Kinsley Smith going to try one more time to get his nose down to the inside of San Filippo. Just not quite enough speed. They are teammates, so I don't believe Brandon's holding Kinsley up too much here as they're driving around, but definitely running different lines. As San Filippo goes up the track, Kinsley Smith's going to take advantage here. Side by side out of turn 2, headed down the backstretch. San Filippo with a little bit of momentum, but Kinsley Smith stays right to his inside, side by side through 3 and 4, coming to the start-finish line. Kinsley Smith going to be in front there. But they are not going away as they are still battling here. But if they battle too much, San Filippo's going to lose more than just the one spot to Kinsley, as Lee Campbell was looking for more there as he was trying to stick his nose down inside of that number 12 machine. Andrew Teft back there in 5th. Todd Slauson hanging on as well. Sean Dunaway needs to find a little bit more speed in that 0-1 as he is about a second back from this lead pack. Dennis Kane, Brandon Honeycutt, and Aaron Marquise are the last cars on the lead lap. But Ira Kohlhaas has turned on cruise control here as he is out to over a second lead now. Andrew Teft to the inside of Campbell. Campbell hangs on to that high line. He's going to be able to stay up there, or if Teft's going to be able to clear him coming off of 4. Looks like Teft probably had him clear but kept that 98 machine down on the inside a little bit longer to allow Campbell some room on that high side. Todd Slauson made it by Campbell as well. So Campbell going the wrong way. Still net positive so far in the race, up 4 spots. Andrew Teft up 5. Working through lap 99 here of 160. Drivers have all probably used 2 sets of tires so far. They have 2 more left in the pits, so we'll see when they elect to come down and hit that pit lane. I would imagine we're going to see them come down in the next 25 laps or so. No, they don't have to quite run this tire to nothing. But everybody's back on the same pit strategy after we had Kohlhaas and Teft trying to make it a 2-stop race, as they came down on lap 53, 54. But that caution kind of sent everybody back to the drawing board here. But I don't know that it really hurt Ira Kohlhaas. He is out to almost a 1.5 second lead coming through 1 and 2 here, headed down the backstretch. Kinsley Smith, Brandon Sanfilippo, Andrew Teft. Probably where the battles are going to start happening. Looks like Brandon Honeycutt able to work his way around Dunaway here and is going to be leading this group. Still about a second back from Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell is slowly losing Andrew Teft and Todd Slauson. As Slauson goes to the inside of Teft, going to try and get P4 away from Teft. Teft is hanging on the high side. Side by side they go through 1 and 2. And Slauson's going to take advantage here. Kinsley Smith, Brandon Sanfilippo battling back and forth. Sanfilippo that I've had enough riding back here. I'm a little bit faster now, so I'm going to take advantage here as Sanfilippo goes down to the inside, makes that pass as they head down the backstretch. Kinsley Smith back to P3, Todd Slauson 4, Teft 5. Everybody else is pretty far spread out here. You got Filter Time and KFC, Chris Blasi and Kirby Wainscott battling for position about a lap down. Lee Campbell's going to try and get by Teft. Looks like Teft has all of a sudden lost a ton of speed here as he checks that outside wall one more time. Let's see if maybe we can see what happened to Andrew here. Kind of take a look here. Like he just lost some speed. Too much going on there, but Teft is going the wrong way and the wrong way in a hurry. See if we can take a different look here. Teft is going to make his way around Slauson and then not able to do so. Back live. And Teft is going the wrong way in a hurry here as Dunaway and Campbell are battling it out here. Like Dunaway almost clipped that apron just a little bit, slowed himself down. Lee Campbell still to his outside. Andrew Teft hard into that outside wall. Ira Kohlhaas, San Filippo, Todd Slauson now. Kinsley Smith, Brandon Honeycutt, Sean Dunaway, Lee Campbell, Andrew Teff, Dennis Kane, Aaron Marquise, all the lead lap cars. Out on a Sunday drive, a Wednesday night drive, is Ira Kohlhaas. He's out to over a 2-second lead once again. He basically was maintaining a 3-second lead over San Filippo before the first round of green flag pit stops, and he is back at it once again here. Now, San Filippo does have a little cushion there back to Slauson. Slauson's been running really well after getting to pit lane, fixing up his ride, and then a well-timed caution put him on the same strategy as everybody else. So I'll say we got about 10 laps until we see drivers hit pit lane. You see anybody battling on track for position. Looks like Kirby Wainscott is all over the rear bumper of Blasi here. Filter Time and KFC. Nobody around Kohlhaas here. This will be running 4th gear all the way around. Jump back here to Dunaway. You can see him get a little bit of momentum here. Coming off of turn 4. But he's staying in 4th gear as well, so I don't think anybody's trying to shift gears as they make their way around the track here. See what the track temperature has climbed to. It's over 100 degrees now. Definitely tearing up those tires. Ooh, Dunaway hard into that outside wall. See the damage that caused. Riding on board the roof cam here. And Filippo's starting to lose a little bit of ground to Slauson. Ira Kohlhaas has slowed it down just a little bit as he is now staying about 2 seconds in front of San Filippo. Ira Kohlhaas still cruising around. San Filippo, Slauson, Honeycutt. And Honeycutt's got a huge gap back to Kinsley Smith. Kinsley Smith is going to have his hands full with Dunaway. Dunaway's been right on his bumper for a few times. Just hasn't been able to make that pass. Every time he gets the momentum, it's like a slight mistake causes Dunaway to go the wrong direction, either bouncing into that outside wall. We're just losing a little bit of speed here. We're getting to lap 122, getting close to that pit window. It'll all be a matter of who decides to blink first, because everybody can make it from here to the end. It's just a matter of when do you want to come down. Because if you're Ira Kohlhaas, you don't really have to worry about too much. You can make it another 15 laps or so. I believe is about what he ran the first time on his first stint. But you don't want to leave. You want to leave enough time to make the passes you need to make. Dennis Kane coming down pit lane right now. Ira Kohlhaas coming in. Dan Filippo says not right now, as he's going to try and take another lap around here. Slauson is all over his back bumper. Sam Filippo is going to have his hands full here, especially if he's going to be trying to pit. Coming off of turn 2, Sam Filippo with the lead. Slauson pulls down. It looks like Slauson's going to head down pit lane. Ira Kohlhaas was down. Andrew Teft, Aaron Marquise, Dennis Kane, all down pit lane. Dan Filippo's staying out so far, as Slauson did pull down. Dan Filippo pulls in. Honeycutt's going to take over the lead. He comes out of turn 2, headed down the backstretch. If he's going to come down, and he will come down pit lane. Don Dunaway is going to follow him. The race lead right now of the drivers who made the pit stop is Ira Kohlhaas, but Kirby Wayne Scott's out there. He's going to try and lead a lap here. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it. Looks like Slauson, Sam Filippo, Inslee Smith, Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell pitted a lap earlier, so he's got a little more speed built into that ride of the 14 than Kinsley does in the 15. Kirby Wayne Scott going to try and lead a lap. And he will do that. He'll get himself a little bonus, I believe a bonus point for leading a lap. Ira Kohlhaas made it past Blasi. He's got Todd Slauson, who is lightning quick. Fastest lap of the race, 23:40 that time by. .30 to go here from the Racers Elite Xfinity Series from Dover. Ooh, Blasi hard into that outside wall. Luckily, Brandon Honeycutt able to take some steps to avoid contact. Wayne Scott still leading, but Kohlhaas is closing in. Whether or not Wayne Scott pits, he's probably going to lose the lead momentarily here, as Kohlhaas goes down to the inside and says, so long, see you later. And he also took the fastest lap that time by as well with the 23:36. So 28 laps to go. That being said, let's see if we can see where everybody's going to kind of pan out here. Looks like Kirby Wainscott still needs to come down pit lane. Hasn't done it yet. Last pit on lap 84, has to be getting to the end of the fuel tank here as Honeycutt goes down to the inside. Wainscott still stays out. Gets a little loose, sliding up the wall. And Filippo Kinsley Smith going to be battling once again. Wainscott still staying out. And fastest lap of the race goes back to Truth Hoke, a 23:27 for Truth. Lightning quick in that 59 Chevy. Bohas and Slauson battling tough here. Three-tenths of a second is all that separates our two leaders here. Honeycutt is about 2.5 back, with Sanfilippo closing as fast as he can, with Kinsley Smith pushing him right along. With that being said, we're going to step aside for our final break of the night, and we will be right back after this. You won't miss anything as we go side by side one more time. Welcome back, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series from Dover. As we were away, we saw Todd Slauson take advantage and take the lead away from Ira Kohlhaas. Not something that we have seen happen all race. Ira is trying to hang on, but he is 8/10 back. Brandon Honeycutt beginning to close in as well. Dan Filippo about 3.5 back from there, running P4. Kinsley Smith, Lee Campbell, John Dunaway, Andrew Teft, and Dennis Kane are the drivers on the lead lap. As Slauson made a gutsy, pit call, trying to split the race into fours early on. Was able to take advantage there of that caution we had. Fell right during his pit cycle, got everybody else on his pit cycle. So he was able to get those tires and get moving in the right direction. And he is now pulling away over a second lead over Brandon Honeycutt, Ira Kohlhaas, and San Filippo. Todd Slauson's going to come around and get the 10 to go here. Honeycutt hanging tough in P2. Ira Kohlhaas, P3. He's got about a 2-second gap back to San Filippo. See if he's going to be able to close in. You can see him in front. Kinsley Smith quite a little ways back there. Everybody's slowly starting to get spread out here. Seven laps to go for Slauson. That will definitely lock Slauson into the chase here. Honeycutt hanging on for second. About a second back. Ira Kohlhaas, this third run just has not been kind to him, as he has lost all sense of the track, is what it looks like, because he was lights out. He was fastest, almost ran the fastest lap of the race. Fastest, just was driving away here. Todd Slauson gets 4 to go. This time by has a second lead, just has to hit his marks. Aaron Marquise coming down pit lane. Kirby Wainscott made his pit stop on lap 140. Lawson just has to hit his marks and keep that thing pointed in the right direction. 3 to go for the double deuce. Dan Filippo, Kinsley Smith, Lee Campbell, Dunaway, and Teft. Popsicle sticks in the air for Todd Slauson. Down the back stretch he goes. Coming through 3 and 4, headed to get that white flag. White flag in the air, and we are racing back to checkers here. Lawson working his way through 1 and 2. Honeycutt trying to hang on. Ira Kohlhaas has a little under a second lead, but coming to the start-finish line, Todd Slauson wins at Dover. Brandon Honeycutt second, Ira Kohlhaas third, Dan Filippo fourth, and Kinsley Smith is going to hang on for a top 5 finish here tonight. As Lawson burns it down here in the front stretch here. See if we can get some drivers up in here in the interview booth. Grab Ira. Hey, Ira, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Well, you had a heck of a run for 3/4 of the race there.
Yeah, I was hoping that thing was going to go green. It was falling into my hand with the late pit stop, and if I could have made it to around 104 to 105, 105 to 106, that would have been the only pit stop I would have had to make the rest of the race. But cautions come out and changed the race, and just picked up a hellacious push there on that last run. And Todd got around me, and Brandon got around me, and we got a podium.
Yeah, definitely. I had it figured that you were going to try and make it just a 2-stop race there and get to the end. Looked like only a couple drivers were thinking that direction, and it was going green. It was going to make it, and then, the caution came out, reset the whole field. But you still came out. You ran pretty well on that second stint, but like you said, that third one just kind of did you in a little bit there.
Yeah, it developed. I don't know if the track was cooling off or if it was a rubber buildup on it or whatever, but I just picked up a push and wasn't going to wreck the car to do any blocking. That's not how I was taught to race. So we got a podium out of it, and we'll go on to tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, congrats on your podium finish. I believe you are locked into the chase. All you had to do was show up here tonight. So congrats on that, and we'll head to.
I got you.
You'll head to Homestead with a little less on the line there. But congrats once again. And anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, 10-4. Thank you. I got to thank Matthews Archery. It's the middle of turkey season here in Tennessee, and I'll finally get to go this Saturday. I was in Talladega last weekend with my brother Sam and a couple of other buddies, and got to thank Randy and Jennifer Sellers from RGS Automotive, my wife Callie, my daughters Clara and Raina. Raina was a trooper earlier on this week, so I'm super proud of her. She had a dentist appointment, had to get some teeth pulled, so she got some gifts from the Tooth Fairy, and she's doing good, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again. All right, let's see if we can, Brandon Honeycutt's not in here, so go ahead and jump right to the race winner here. Hey, Todd, Mike from the booth, man. How's it going?
Hey guy, it's not going too bad. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Well, it's definitely a tale of two different races, both for you and Ira there. You look like you picked up some damage early in the race. Were able to work through it there, and somehow found some speed on that last run there.
Yeah, that race was up and down for me. I think I said last week in my interview that this track can bite you on the first lap, and it darn near did for me. The first field run, I got into the wall. There was three of us there. We jumped out front and had a pretty good lead, and I got into the wall racing with Kinsley a couple times, and he just took all the straightaway speed out of my car, and I started falling through the field. And it came to a point where I was losing so much time, I just had to pit, off cycle and get my damage fixed, and cycle there for a while. And the race honestly was not looking good for me. And then that caution fell, and it kind of evened things back up. And we re-racked them, and we all had 4 tires, and I was able to drive through the field there and somehow pull off a win. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you had made that pit stop and caught that caution at just the right time, as you were kind of going backwards again as you lost a little bit of that track position as your tires were wearing out. But nonetheless, you get a win. You're definitely locked into the chase, so a little less to worry about next week at Homestead. But anybody you got to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, definitely got to thank my team, Lee, Aaron, Chris, and Ronnie. I appreciate you guys running. It was a lot of fun with you guys tonight. Thank my wife, Shayla, and my Tanner, and my daughter, Tinley. I appreciate you guys watching. I love you guys.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again, and we'll look forward to talking to you later.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Let's go ahead and jump to the race results here. We have Todd Slauson, Brandon Honeycutt, Ira Kohlhaas finishing inside the top three. Brandon Sanfilippo, Kinsley Smith round out the top five. Lee Campbell, Sean Dunaway, Andrew Teff, Dennis Kane round out the cars that were on the lead lap. Chris Blasi gets P10. Kirby Wainscott, 11th. Truth Hoke, fastest lap of the race, 3 laps down. Aaron Marquise in P13, and Ronnie Martin rounds out the field that took the green flag, finishing P14. So that will do it from Dover tonight. Want some more action? You can tune in tomorrow night for the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. There's always action going on here on Sim Racing Media. We got Saturday, Sunday, basically every night of the week. So tune in, get your racing fix. But from all the drivers of the Racers Elite Xfinity Series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. And we will see you next time.